dear friend, my dear friend Jackie actually got that book for me. People We Meet on Vacation. So I hope to read it at some point this year because I saw such polarizing reviews. Some people were like, oh, they loved it. Some people were like, oh, it's a waste of time. But you know, we love to read things on our own. Ah, Brianna, yes, People We Meet on Vacation. Guys, if you haven't seen the book, Brianna is showing it to us. Brianna, put it up back for me, please, 1 second, sweetie. Right, People We Meet on Vacation. And I mean, the cover was pretty cute, which was one of the reasons that I wanted to get it. And if you guys know me, you know I will buy books just for the cover. And Cherie, I have to admit, that was one of the reasons why I bought this book. It wasn't even, I have to be really honest. I got to be honest here. I didn't even know what this book was about. And I was like, how the one-armed sisters feed her house. I don't even know what it's about. But all I know is that this cover is so damn cute and I'm getting the book. And that's what I did. I've been sneak reading the friendship contract, sneak reading because we're doing semester one finals. Semester one finals, no. Renee, I thought exams were done and long gone. COVID has been such a mess. Like everything is so behind. Sam finished Will's memoir yesterday, Nakeeta. So maybe you and Sam can get together and have a chat about that. But you know, we love discussing books in this community. I'm reading Reasonable Lies. Jackie, which book? Oh yes, I saw. Isn't that the Indie Spines book club, January book club? And guys, you know, every time I come on this thing, I talk about, okay, 8:16, I'm still in good timing. You know, I talk about Indie Spines. At Indie Spines, they are a book club that promotes indie authors. And you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about this, tired of hearing me say this, but indie authors need love and support. They need the push that we can give them on our platforms because indie authors are basically doing everything on their own. They don't have the support or backing of a big publisher. So they may not have the resources to do all the marketing and all the things that a lot of bigger authors who have that backing can manage. So it's important that we support them by sharing their books on our page, buying their books if it's interesting to you, leaving reviews on Amazon for them, leaving reviews on Goodreads, like sharing it with people in your stories. It's so important. So I really, really love the initiative that Indie Spines has. It's so, I'm a big supporter, and many months I joined their book club just so that I can use my platform to, you know, make people aware of the books. And we had Nadia on here last month. She was our first author. She's Bajan, just like Cherie. She lives in Singapore and she wrote the book Sorry I Didn't Write. And we had such a good time kicking it off with her. And we're going to have a really good time kicking it off with Cherie tonight. So let me see what everybody else is doing. Christine Tina says, I'm reading The Bread the Devil Needs and 7 Days in June. Yeah, I want to read that book. I really want to read that book. Also, I really like the cover for that book. And I just want to read that book. 7 Days in June. I'm also reading that book right now, preparing for the body read. Jillian, I'm trying to get my reading back on track. So I'll be starting Reasonable Lies this weekend. Yeah, listen now. I read one book in December. One book. And I'm fine with that. But after the holidays, it was really hard for me to get myself back into that mood to read. And that's perfectly fine. And guys, if you, I think I had made a post about this, feel free to drop in the comments if you have any ideas for persons who are currently in reading slumps on how they can get back into the groove. Please let them know. Guys, I always recommend starting with a reread. Nothing is wrong with doing a reread. Sometimes if you read a book that you love and you read it again, that kind of channels your brain and puts you back into the frame of mind to read. And also you're guaranteed that you read something that you know that you would have enjoyed or you're going to enjoy. And also short stories are a very, very good way to get out of a reading slump. Short stories, you know, you're reading a story that is about maybe 10, 12 pages, maybe that's a bit long, maybe 5, 10 pages, and you read that story and wow, you've read a story, and then you go and you read another story. It's like you're reading mini books. So those are my recommendations. The thriller thing rough. Nakeeta, I think you would like it. I really think you would like rock paper scissors. And rock paper scissors has a lot of mix up and blender in there, like we say in Jamaica. Enough mix up and blender. And if you want more advice, you can seek Brianna, or in-house thriller specialist. You can seek her advice. Renee said, I love the PWMOV. Which one is that? P, P, wait, don't tell me. No, don't tell me. PW of something. P, but I have an issue with popping out the fan of baby. Which book is that?
People we meet on vacation.
People we meet on vacation. You know, you would think that I'm in here drinking alcohol, okay, guys? Not that I'm trying to promote for Viva because they ain't paying me to do this, but I'm just showing you guys that I'm not even drinking anything alcoholic. And this is one of the main reasons why I don't really drink alcohol, because I am crazy already. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Sharon just finished The Yellow Wife and currently reading Commitment. I read The Yellow Wife last year. I did review it on my page. It was a good book. It was a good book. And I really love when we have heroines who are winning. And The Yellow Wife is about it's slavery based, and it's based in the US. But it just shows the advantages of mulattoes. And I really like the fact that she was able to take advantage of that and make the most of her situation in that, in that moment, and to get out of it positively. I need to reread it. There were some things that I felt were a little bit where that book was concerned, and Sharon, you and I can talk about it more. There were some things, and if you read my review, there were some things that I didn't love about the book, and I think I gave it like a 3 point something or 4 stars. But overall, it was good. Of course, Nakeeta is gonna tell everybody to read a romance because that's what she does. Romance. Graphic novels. Makeda, I could figure out before I even realized it was you who typed it. Graphic novels, webtoons are the way to go for slums if you are into them. Yeah, I could definitely see graphic novels working. Especially I'm a visual person, so I love pictures. My mom said when I was a little girl, picture books were my thing. And she would give me the picture books, and it's just a picture, and I would be like, the boy said that he must go into the cave, and then she will follow him into the cave, and then they found the rainbow. And the umbrella was red, and then when she took up the red umbrella, he went and covered her from the rain, and they ran inside the house, and her mother said, oh, you brought the umbrella back. I have some cupcakes for you. And that was me. That was me. Yeah, so graphic novels, yeah. Makeda, I'm definitely. Oh, Jillian, you've been in a reading slump for months. I'm so sorry. sometimes the only way to fix that is to go and do something else. Sometimes when you're in a reading slump, it's because you're just, and let's all remember that we're in a pandemic, and I think it's important that even though we are bookstagrammers, we don't have people thinking that you're in a reading slump, you need to fix that. You don't. You don't need to fix that. Maybe you're in a reading slump because you are in a pandemic and you need to do what is important for your mental health and what is important for your body. And maybe your body just don't feel like reading no book. You know, Jillian, I'm just saying, maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you want to do something tactile. Maybe you want to, paint or color or write or go hiking or a bike ride or watch Netflix whole day, whole night. Maybe you want to do something else. So you can try our recommendations. And if you're still in a reading slump, give yourself some time just away from books. That's a thought. All right, 8:26. So I think when I'm in a slump, I just want to push myself to find the book club again. Who said something about Enid Blyton? Girl, Enid Blyton, Nancy Drew, Hardy Boy, Secret 7. Girl, you calling my name. Okay? That's my jam right there. Ali, one of my bestest friends, is on. I had the full Nancy Drew collection as a child. Listen, Dawn is on. Hi, guys. I can't see everybody who is on. So if I don't call out your name, it's not because I don't love you. You know I love you all the same. Let me just, see who is on. I can just say a quick hello to everybody. And we are about, okay, I can't see the names. Nakeeta, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's all right. Oh, I found the names. All right. Hi, Ali, Angie, Annalicia, Brianna, Sherry, Christine, Dawn, Jackie, Jillian, Makeda, Renee, Sam, Sharon, Shayla. Thanks, everybody. Hi. Okay. So I apologize for Damien, who may be in and out. He's actually dealing with a work situation, so he won't be in. But I am getting ready to introduce to you Cherie Jones. She really doesn't need much introduction from me, to be honest, because I think how the one-armed sister sweeps her house was actually one of the most read books from a Caribbean author for 2021. If you haven't read it, that's okay. I am pretty sure that after this, at some point this year, you're gonna find yourself reading it. It has triggers. It's not a fairy tale romance. It is real Caribbean life. It's heavy stuff, but it is so beautifully written that it sits with you. This book sat with me. So I'm going to read to you. Normally, I choose a chapter, but I've decided for this book that I'm going to read to you the prologue. So, Miss Cherie, I hope I do your book justice. 12th of September, 1979. Lala comes home and Wilma is waiting, having returned early from visiting Carson at the hospital. Wilma is still dressed in her going out clothes, one of the outfits she prefers to be seen in by strangers, a lilac seam-pleated skirt that falls just below her knees, a pale aquamarine silk blouse tucked into the waist with a broad purple belt and a navy crochet hat that once belonged to her mother. When Lala walks through the door, Wilma is standing on the stone floor of the kitchen, arms akimbo, eyes wide with relief. Where you was, Stella? It's almost 8:30. No, I'm reading this in Jamaican accent. These people do not have a Jamaican accent. But I don't dare try to imitate the Bayesian accent. So bear with me, all right? Visiting hours end at 6, one of the myriad indignities of hospitalization at Baxter's General. Having to bid visitors goodbye and get ready to go to sleep with the birds. But today, Carson has fallen into a type of coma way before bedtime, a deep sleep from which the doctors cannot rouse him. Wilma spends the first visiting hour sitting upright next to his bed, and only when she dozes and falls off the chair and lands with her knees still bent at a right angle can she be persuaded to go home and rest. There is not much anyone can do, say the nurses, as dribble oozes from the corner of Carson's mouth and slimes its way toward the sheet. The doctors are doing tests. This coma, these tests, are why Wilma is able to take the long walk from Baxter's General back to the Bridge Street bus stand at a stroll instead of a run, and still manage to secure a place at the front of a long line of commuters. They are why her steam-pleated skirt has escaped the telltale crinkles of the push and shove and crush of the queue in its collective effort to catch the Route 12 going to Baxter's Beach, from which she usually alights around 8:30. This evening, Wilma has managed to catch the 7 p.m. instead of the 8, and has therefore been spared the usual visiting hours crowd from Baxter's General. This evening, Wilma has returned home almost an hour early and found that Lala is not there in her bedroom, reading Mallory Towers. Where you was, Stella? Answer me. My name is Lala. Lala is at first not fazed by the fact that she's already in trouble or that lashes are likely, and her obstinacy makes Wilma's right eye twitch. Your name is whatever I say it is, Wilma yells. I went for a walk, Wilma, Lala stammers. It was dark in the house and I was frightened and I went for a walk. Wilma does not know whether to believe her. Lala's hair is intact. Her dress is not unusually ruffled. She can look her right in the eyes. It is possible that she is telling the truth. I say I would come out and meet the bus, but I lose track of time. Wilma removes the crochet hat, which she had kept on until Lala walked through the door, just in case her head had to brave the cold wind to try to find her. Wilma sheds her Chinese slippers and sits down. Suddenly she is too tired to share a beating. She is too tired to go to bed. She is thinking about the prospect of Carson dying at last and leaving her alone except for Lala. She looks at her granddaughter, the only child of her dead only daughter. This granddaughter has not, up to now, really caused her any trouble. She does her schoolwork so well that her teachers say she can be anything she wants. She says, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, at the times and on the occasions that Wilma has taught her to. She stays well out of the sight and sound of her grandfather Carson. What more, Wilma asks herself, can she ask for? The child is not a beauty. But perhaps, thinks Wilma, this will work in her favor. She considers that this is the person who will have to help her in her old age, and so she softens her voice until it is almost pleading. I ain't tell you that young girls like you must stay indoors. Wilma childs mildly. I ain't tell you about the things that live in the Baxter's tunnels. You're walking about to find out about them yourself. When Lala doesn't answer, she says, let me tell you about a little girl like you that didn't listen to her mother. And here is where we hear the story. The one. Wilma tells the story of the one-armed sister. The village vicar and his wife had 2 little girls. Such beautiful children you never did see. Skin yellow and pretty like peanut milk. Hair curly and silky like pure de soie, eyes big and light brown with long, long lashes. But although they're both beautiful, only one of them was gifted with good sense. The other one was own way and liked to give the mother mouth. So it just so happened that it had an entrance to the Baxter's tunnels, right on the vicarage lawn at the bottom of the garden. Nobody's sure what it doing there, but it there nonetheless. The vicar wife have half a mind to get the yard boy to seal it off with stones and cement, but it's only half a mind. And she never actually sent the boy into town to buy the bag of cement and the cement block and do the job. The vicar's wife tell her little girls about this tunnel, how they mustn't go into it, how it have monsters that live down in there, how any little girls go in there, they never come back out. The tunnels is where bad men go when they die, says the mother. Men that are too bad to rest easy in their graves, down in those tunnels, walking about day and night, looking for more badness, harvesting souls for the devil. The mother tell them, but the little girl with the good sense listen, and the one that don't have any get more curious than ever. This sister questioned her mother. Wonder what in the tunnels that's so sweet she warning her away from it. Because this good-for-nothing girl already developing a taste for things that her mother tell her not to have. This slack from Shibon, force-ripe sister, already thinking that some bad things real sweet, and if something so sweet, it can't be evil. This sister thinking to herself, it's not that spooky. What is the use of a tunnel if you don't get to see where it leads? It's just this kind of tunnel that the sister decides she must explore, said Wilma. So she ups herself one evening when her mother was taking tea with the doctor wife. It was important matters they was talking, says Wilma, because the vicar's wife was a good mother, not one to leave her children alone for a few seconds. But a few seconds is all the devil need. Pretty soon, the vicar's wife hears screaming so sharp and piteous, it shaked the teapot on the table with the tea. The vicar's wife and the doctor's wife run out and see the good sister holding onto the other for dear life, and something they can't quite see pulling the stupid one by her other arm back into the tunnel. Well, the vicar's wife and the doctor's wife and the yard boy all grab onto the good sister and they're pulling her, and she pulling the bad sister away from the thing in the tunnel. And says Wilma, maybe it's only because her husband is the vicar and a man of prayer that they get the stupid sister out. But that monster in the tunnel take her arm from her. Sure as day, when they rescue that sister, there's a bleeding stump where her arm used to be. That left arm end in a knot just above what used to be her elbow. She survived, of course, says Wilma. The wicked often do. But she have a stump to remind her what stupid get her. Sure enough, the mother get the yard boy to seal up that tunnel quick after that. But the arm already in there. Curiosity killed the cat, says Wilma. Don't make yourself stupid like the one-armed sister. There is something about the story that angers Lala. Perhaps the fact that Wilma expects her at 13 years old to believe it. And none of them went back to find the arm, she wonders. Not even the yard boy. Yard boy know his limitations, says Wilma. Yard boy no match for no monster. She has mistaken Lala's silence for the proof of a scaring. Just the kind to keep her out of the type of trouble that long walks at night can bring. So she's picking up her hat and her bag and her belt and getting ready to go to her sewing room where more work is waiting. I bet if it was the other way around, if the good sister was the one in the tunnel, the other one would have gone after that arm and found it for her, says Lala. I bet she would have. The good sister not so stupid to go in there in the first place, says Wilma. Her eyes are flashing and she's thinking that maybe she should just have mustered the energy and given Lala a warm dose of licks instead. Well, I bet it not so bad having one arm. She can still do things like everybody else. She can still get a husband and some children and a house. Stupid girl, says Wilma. How's she gonna sweep it? Wow. Wow. Cherie.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Cherie Jones.
Hey.
I have so many questions, and we all have so many questions. But before we get into the questions, I'm just going to let everybody hear a little bit about you, and then we're going to put you in the hot seat.
All right.
Now, as I think I told you, the hot seat not too hot. It's not going to scorch your bum bum.
Right.
But it's going to keep you on your toes.
On my toes. Okay.
So guys, let me tell you a little bit about Cherie Jones. Cherie Jones is a writer, mom, and lawyer. Her previous publication credits include Pang, The Feminist Wire, Reflex Fiction, and BBC Radio 4. Her first collection of short stories was published by People Tree Press in 2004. She is a former fellowship awardee of the Vermont Studio Center and an alum of the MA in Writing at Sheffield Hallam University, where she was awarded the Archie Markham Award and the AM, is it Heath Prize?
Yes, yes.
Her debut novel, How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House, was shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction in the UK in 2021. Guys, drop some fairies in the comments, drop some fairies. And also, guys, if you already have questions, we have some questions that you guys gave me from before. But if you have any other questions, feel free to write it in the chat, right, Nakeeta? Right, and we will get those questions together. So, Cherie, welcome. Do you have anything to say to the fairy gang before we get started?
Yeah, just, thanks for having me. It's so nice to be here. And don't make the hot seat too hot.
No, the hot seat is going to be just right. It's going to be warm. And that's why I told you to bring a drink so you can cool yourself down after the hot seat.
I'm ready for that.
How the hot seat works, Cherie, is that I have a list of questions. The aim is to try to answer as many questions as possible in that time.
Right.
You have no idea, just for those of you who have never seen me do the hot seat before, Cherie has no idea what these questions are. She has never received them. She did not get an email with a listing. She did not get a PM with these questions.
Yeah.
They are not complicated questions at all, but we are here to get to know Cherie Jones. And it's always great when we can sit down and discuss a book with an author. But do we really get to know them? Because I feel like sometimes we forget that these authors are people. They're human beings just like us, who took a very vulnerable leap and said, hey, I'm going to put together a body of work and I'm going to share it with the world. So yes, we want to talk about the book. We're not going to go into an in-depth discussion of the book. This is not a book discussion, but we're here to find out who on earth is Cherie Jones, who wrote How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House. So, are we ready?
Ready.
Ready? Tell me when to go. Ready. Go? All right. Did you have an imaginary friend growing up? And if you did, what is the name?
Oh my gosh. Did I have an imaginary friend growing up? Yes. I had a little friend. I cannot now remember what her name was. I remember she was Russian.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite color?
Black.
Wow, interesting. We need to talk more about that. What's your number one place to go to in Barbados?
Concept Bay. It's like a small bay, like a fishing community, fishing village type.
I know it. My mom used to live in Barbados, so I'm very familiar. Yes.
Concept Bay. That's my place.
All right. Mood reader or planned reader?
Mood reader
or planned reader? Do you plan out your reads or do you just get up and take up a book?
mood reader, definitely.
Mood reader.
Whatever catches my fancy.
Who is your primary motivator?
Who is my
primary motivator?
My primary, well, it depends for what. This is in terms of my writing? Just in terms of writing? Or,
yeah.
That's a good question. Who's my primary? I have no idea. I just feel.
And you can pass. You can pass because the aim is to try to answer. All right.
Right.
What is your favorite literary genre?
Short stories.
Short stories. All right. What is your dream vacation spot?
Amsterdam.
All right.
Living in a houseboat or staying in a houseboat with the kids. Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. All right. Warm milk or cold milk?
Cold milk, if milk at all. I guess that's not your choice, but cold milk. If
I'll share the joke with you. I'll share the joke with you after. What's something exciting that you did in 2021 that you never done before?
Something exciting? Boy, I had a pretty boring 2021. Renovated a house.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite meal?
Anything chocolate. I usually start with dessert. So
interesting.
Dessert. Yeah.
All right. Are you team Santa Claus or team Rudolph?
I would say pass.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? Coffee.
Yeah.
Definitely coffee. Must have it.
What is your favorite pastime?
Taking photographs.
All right, we'll talk more about that. Beach or pool?
Beach.
What is the first book you can recall reading?
A hymnal, ancient and modern. That's the first book I really remember.
What's the name?
It's the Ancient and Modern hymn book.
Oh, ancient. Oh.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I think stuck in my mind somehow. Yeah.
All right. If you could have dinner with any author, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you ask them?
It would be Kamal Brathwaite, and I would ask him what in his life, in his writing life, he considers that he didn't accomplish, that he wanted to do. That's what I would know.
All right.
Time.
I see that wasn't so bad. The seat wasn't too hot. You answered. So 1, 2, 3. You were unable to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you passed 3 and you didn't answer 3. So you didn't do too badly. So we have a little understanding of who you are. There are a few things that I want to discuss from, like your favorite color being black. But before we get into that, I have one more activity with you that I want everybody to get involved with. So this one is called The Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh, yes.
You have to tell us 2 truths and a lie. And I want the fairy gang to determine which one is the lie.
Right.
All right. So I'm giving you 1 minute to think it through, Cherie. Make up your questions. And I'm just gonna head over to the chat to see what everybody is saying. Nakeeta, I knew you were going to take me on about that. Warm milk will never reign supreme. I'm sorry, but I warm my milk before I eat my cereal. And
all soggy, like, you know, it makes me like cereal gets soggy and
so
it just 2 minutes later is no good.
So we've been having an ongoing debate about that on this Friday Night Lyme. We've been debating warm milk, cold milk. And I said that I warm my milk. I grew up with my mom warming my milk and then pouring in my cereal. And everybody was like, so every opportunity that I get, I ask people if they do warm milk or cold milk. And you would just said cold milk. And I was really praying. I was like, Cherie's going to come on here and she's going to say warm milk. Like, I cannot wait. And she's going to say warm milk and I'm going to throw it in everybody's face. And I'm going to be like, good, everybody. See, somebody else said warm milk. But here I am again. Nakeeta, I cannot believe this warm milk thing still a keep in. Listen, it's keeping until I find people that sell cold milk. I mean warm milk, okay? And until I find the people who say warm milk, it's keeping very much. See, Sam said warm milk. Sam, I knew it, you know. I knew I could count on you, you know. And I look on Tina and I feel like Tina is a warm milk girl too. God no. Warm milk, don't it? Yo, my people are out there, okay? Okay, you guys cannot gang up on me with this cold milk because there are people that are drinking. Let me see. Meanwhile, I am over here dairy-free and surviving. That is so good, Angie. I'm really happy that you are dairy-free and surviving. I ultimately want to be dairy-free at some point. Jackie says, let's all do warm milk tomorrow. You know, I would love to see you guys do that. Why doesn't everybody do warm milk tomorrow and tag me in it on Bookstagram and let me see your reactions? Jillian says, my sister does warm milk, but cold milk for me all the way. Jillian. Damian says, no milk. Okay. Alicia, I can't live without dairy. We know that now. Jody, this discussion is making me feel for a bowl of cereal. That's my best friend, guys. Yeah, I could eat cereal for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. All right, Cherie, are you ready with your two truths and a lie?
Truth and a lie. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, let me write it out. All right, let's go.
All right. So the first one is I once appeared in a photo shoot for an international magazine with Wendy Fitzwilliam, former Miss Universe. The second one is I saw Prince Andrew's boxer shorts and they were white with red hearts. And the third one is I was part of a gospel group that was offered a record deal with Gold Coast Records, but the group fell apart before we could finish recording. Those are the three.
All right. Guys, did you get that? Did you get that? I want to see what you guys. Damian says, I'm going to say number 2 is a lie. I wish I could see this better. The messages. Hold on, let me see. Oh, the cinnamon toast. Joe. All right, Damian says, I'm going to say number 2 is a lie. Tian says, 1 is the truth. Nakeeta, the lie is photo shoot with Miss Universe. 2,
like, which is
everybody is saying 2 is the lie. 2 is the lie. Yeah.
2 is the lie. Prince Andrew. What did you say?
Oh my gosh, I've gone with. Everybody says 2 is a lie. The lie is the boxers. Don says the lie is the boxers. The lie is the boxers. All right. Most people are saying 2 is definitely the lie. Where am I? Hold on. I'm scrolling down. Hold on. If Warm Milk had 100 fans, Shan would be one of them. If Warm Milk had 10 fans, Shan would be one of them. If Warm Milk had 1 fan, then it would be Shan. How did I miss that? Okay, hold on. Back to the 2 truths and a lie. All right. 2 was so outrageous, I wanted it to be true. I will go on my own and say 3. I think 3 is the lie. 2 is the lie, definitely. 2 is the lie because it's the one I want to be true. Yeah, which one is the lie, Cherie?
The lie is the gospel group, number 3.
Got it.
I don't know how you guessed that, but yeah, number 3.
Jimmy got it, and Jimmy got it. Oh gosh, I wish we were winning a prize.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Everybody said 1 and 2, and Jenna said 3. Let me see if anybody else said 3. Yeah. Yeah. So Prince Andrew, let's talk about the boxers, please.
Yeah, I can give you this story. He actually came. I went to this school. My school in Barbados, my secondary school was Queen's College, and he came. We had a big thing where we opened this new campus in St. James. And members of the royal family came, and as part of the thing, they toured the art room. I was a, devoted art student, and I was in the art room doing my fabric printing, textile printing. And he actually came and he leaned over what I was doing. So next to me, he just kind of like leaned over looking at it. And I just kind of looked down and thought, hang on. And he had these boxer shorts with these little tiny red hearts. I kid you not. I was so surprised. So that was actually true. That happened a long time.
I had a feeling it was true. Like I just thought to myself, I think Cherie definitely really thought that would have been so hard to make up. Like, where would you have thought about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they just weren't what I expected, though. Somehow,
Definitely.
The royal family.
I was expecting something like black or gray, navy blue.
Yeah, it was
definitely wasn't expecting white with red hearts.
Yeah,
I will never think about Prince Andrew the same.
Yes.
And you tell us now about the photo shoot that you appeared in.
Oh, yeah. So I actually went to school with Wendy Fitzwilliam we went to law school together. We were in the same year. And the year that we were there, this lady came down. She was doing this photo shoot for this magazine, and she was featuring like Bajan kind of designers. She's featuring Bajan designers. And she came to the law faculty at UE to choose people to do this thing. And I think, her thing was, of course she chose Wendy because she was so beautiful.
Yes.
But I think she was kind of looking for maybe unusual features as well. That's how I explain being there. But we actually went down into Bridgetown and stood on this fountain that's in the middle of town, close to where Nelson used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we took pictures, so that's like a memory I have. So yeah,
that's really great. Well, it's safe for us to say that you are gorgeous as well, so we can totally understand why they would have chosen you as well. Right now you're just glowing on the screen, just beautiful melanin just exuding. So wow. Renee was asking if you saw Prince Andrew in February. Was it February that he was wearing?
You know what? I cannot even remember. This was literally when I was doing my A levels. So, this is over 30 years ago. I can't remember what month it was. What stuck out for me was seeing these boxer shorts and the pattern on it. But I don't know if it was February. I really need to look back.
So
I don't have the stylist. I wonder. Maybe, probably.
so we have some questions that we wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
And we just kind of want to get a feel of where your headspace was when you wrote this book. First of all, we want to know what brought you to make the transition from being well, you're still an attorney and you're still a practicing attorney, so it's not that you've transitioned from that, but what made you decide to branch out into writing?
Wow, I don't even look at writing as sort of something that I branched into. I've just always seen myself as long as I could remember, I was writing. So it's more as if writing is intrinsic to who I am. I've always done it. I'm compelled to do it. I can't not do it. And I'll always be doing it. I don't know, maybe I took it for granted a little bit for a while. So, law is definitely my career at this point in time, up to this point in time. But law, writing is like my calling. So I wouldn't say that I branched into writing. I've always written. So I would say writing is probably more central to who I am as a person. And law was like a choice for a career.
Okay. Yeah. So it was pretty natural for you to transition into this book. And you tell us a little bit about what you wrote before. So in my investigations, I have intel that has informed me that you wrote The Burning Bush Woman and Other Stories, and you also wrote a piece called Bride.
Yes.
Tell us a little about.
Yeah, so prior to the novel, I would say that I considered myself primarily a short story writer. So that is what I did, for years and years and years. It was just about short stories. And yeah, I think this novel actually also started as a short story and then kind of just started to expand and expand. Probably became a novel in about 2015. I would say properly became a novel in 2015. But yeah, it started as a short story as well. So prior to this, I was primarily a short story writer.
Wow. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense because you did indicate that your favorite genre is short stories. So we can see that connection there. We can see that connection. All right. So I have a question that Dawn had asked. But before I get to that question, somebody wanted to know what is your favorite, who is your favorite character in How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House?
Okay, that's an easy one. My favorite character is Tone. Definitely Tone. Without a doubt, Tone. Tone all the time. It's funny because when I started writing the novel, surprisingly.
And Cherie, for those who haven't read the book, can you just give them just a little background on?
Okay. All right. So Tone is one of the main characters in the novel. The novel is about a woman called Lala who braids hair on a beach in Barbados for a living. And when we meet Lala, she's just given birth to her first child with her husband, Aiden. In pretty difficult circumstances. The night she gives birth, there's a murder on the beach. And the story really is about how the two events are connected, but it explores a lot of things, in explaining that connection. So Aiden is Lala's husband. Tone is one of Aiden's best friends or soldiers, as we would say, in Barbados, but he's also Lala's lover and love interest. So Lala is married, but Tone is her love interest. And he's just a really beautiful character, a really lovely person, who's been through some really difficult circumstances, some difficult experiences. But I really believe one of the beautiful things about his character is that he's faced that aspect of his existence and he's kind of transcended it. And even though he's haunted by what happened to him, he still manages to be a really beautiful person and a good example of, you know, real love, I think, as it relates to Lala.
I really loved Tone as well. I loved him. I loved his love for Lala. And I loved his self. Yes, Sharon said it. Tone is selfless. I loved his selflessness. Man, she was. If you are not gonna be a man's world like that, boy, I don't know, man, I don't know, but I really liked him as a character, and what I loved about every character, even Aiden, who I didn't want to fight him, but you know, what I loved is how fleshed out your characters were in that book. I really love the fact that each character was wholesome. Whether you liked that character or not, each character was dimensional. And that is what made the book so meaty. Like there was nothing flat about that book. And everything made sense. And so it's very interesting, pardon me, that you mentioned that it started out as short stories, because I've read a few books with awesome writing where they started out as short stories, ended up being put together as a novella, and just really just needed to have stayed as short stories. So kudos to you on being able to take these short stories and to tie them in a way that there's so much fluidity and so much connectivity that it really gels together as a novel. I would not have thought at any point in time that this book started out as short stories. And I've read books before where I'm just like, no, sir, this is short stories. Better you read this as a short story collection.
Yeah, but it actually started out as one short story and just kind of started to expand. I started the short story was focused on that that fight between Aiden and Lala over baby and what happened there. That was the short story that I was writing, that scene. And it just, like I said, it just started to expand. What I found, though, is that there was a point in time when I started to transition, you know, the piece of work into being a novel, that I really felt like it was a little bit episodic. And I think that came over from my short story writing. So it was very much kind of like you land on the wall, I tell you what's happening in the room, and we talk about what's going on there, and then we come out and we land somewhere else. So it was a work to try to make it a more cohesive whole, but it started off as one short story really about the night that they were tussling over baby.
So how long then did it take you to write this book?
Oh Lord. Well, if you're thinking from the beginning as a short story, it was 10 years. If you're thinking from the time it kind of became a novel and was recognizable as, you know, a precursor to this, to what actually got published, I would say 3 years. That was 2015 that it kind of really started to gel as a novel.
When you said 10 years, I instantly thought of This One Sky Day, because I know Leonie Ross took 10 years to write that book.
Yeah.
And
I think it takes
crazy.
As long as
yeah.
You know, and this one was kind of hard to write. So I did have a lot of time in between there of kind of putting it down for like a couple weeks or a couple months and working on other writing projects and then picking it back up because it was kind of tough. It was a tough one to write.
You know, it's interesting because I don't know if as readers we take up a book and we read a book in 1 day, or we read the book in 3 days or in 7 days.
Yeah.
And this is something that an author has taken years upon years of writing stumps and writing block and mood change and rewriting of this chapter and throw that chapter, throw the whole chapter away, throw the whole book away, start the book over, and then we get the book, this beautiful package. Here we are. This is what we get. We go into the store or we go online and we purchase the book and we get it and we read this book and we have no idea all the effort that goes into it. And so let me just take this time on behalf of everyone that is here to say thank you so much. We are so appreciative of you authors who are keeping us with so much to talk about in each other's DMs and in each other's messages and you know, and what we have to keep us going in this time. You guys are historians in your own right, discussing, because this book really is social commentary. And even though it is based in Barbados, I couldn't help but feel like there were so many things I understood as a Jamaican. When you, the first chapter that speaks to the to Lala's situation at the hospital and not having a proper bed and being sent out quickly, and I couldn't help but think about the early days of Jubilee in Jamaica, where I've heard the stories of women going into labor and sharing beds with other people, and you know, even just the grandmother saying don't go in the tunnel and young girls this, and me reading it in the Jamaican accent just now, it just felt so much like these could have been characters that were based in Jamaica, you know. So the social commentary of this book, as I said, you're a historian in your own right, documenting things that are happening, and it's really not easy writing a book that is addressing the real deal. So I would love to know what the feedback has been. Have you gotten any negative feedback from persons in Barbados or in the government or anybody who has felt like you've portrayed the island negatively?
That's a really good question, because I find that people ask me that a lot, but nobody has actually come to me and said, you know, you really shouldn't have written this book. You know, you're taking like tales out of school, you're airing dirty laundry. I haven't heard anything like that. I think Bajans have more been just proud to see, you know, when it was on Good Morning America, because there was a Bajan flag and Barbados. I think people just felt really good about that. And then the story is so, you know, there's so many aspects of Bajan life in there. So I think people kind of appreciated that. I haven't had anybody actually come to me and say, you know, you really shouldn't have written this. It portrays Barbados in a bad light. You know, even apart from that, sometimes it's just tiring just being the card. Like, that's not reality for so many people. Like, yeah, the beach is nice, and you know, we know that, we appreciate that, we love that. But there are people in Barbados who, because of how they're living, don't really study that beach and that sunset. That's not what they study when they're on the beach. The beach is just a part of a hustle.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of like, I just thought it was time that somebody kind of told the other side of it, the other experience. Not to say that I don't love my country and, you know, think there's so many wonderful things about it, but like any place in the world, it has its really good bits and then it's not so good bits. And this happened to be a story that was set in some of the not so good aspects of.
I definitely bunch it with so I always tell people, here comes the sun from Jamaica. How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House from Barbados, Pleasant View from Trinidad. Those are
Yeah.
like my three books of controversy where, you know, it's moving away from the sun, beach, sand, and really looking at. So, but we're not gonna go down. We're gonna bring something light. So Damien wanted to know, what are your favorite books?
Wow, my favorite book. So the last book that I read and really enjoyed is actually a book that is not yet released. And it's written by a friend of mine called Sharma Taylor. And it's called What Mothers Love Don't Teach You. So I had the good fortune to read an advanced copy of that. Really, really loved it. There's so many books that have influenced who I am as a writer. So if I just give you the list coming from like way back in the day, Banana Bottom, Claude McKay. There is oh my gosh, Summer Lightning and Other Stories, Olive Senior, Miguel.
Yeah, I have that one.
Miguel Street, B.S. Naipaul, House of Mr. Biswas, B.S. Naipaul.
House of Mr. Biswas, that's my book there. Yes, I love that book. Look, Tina is like.
Wine of Astonishment has to be one of my all-time favorite books by Earl Lovelace. There's so many. I love Alice Walker. I love Toni Morrison, of course. The Bluest Eye was really like, that was one of the books to me that I just devoured her work. Like I just swallowed it whole and then had to go back and kind of have it again. There's so many books that really influence who I am as a writer. But the last book that I read, it would be What a Mother's Love Don't Teach You.
Okay, and is your friend an indie author?
No, that's going to be published. Sharma she's actually Jamaican, but she was living in Barbados for a while. She just moved back to Jamaica late last year, but she actually got a book deal from a reputable international publisher. Yeah. And that book is coming out. Yeah, that should be
When is it coming out?
Let me see. I don't want to say April and be wrong, but it is
early. Because it would be nice for us to have her here on the live for her to discuss it.
She's there now. She's a lawyer as well, but definitely a really good writer. So yes, she's
all right. So you and I will talk a little bit more about that. All right. Yeah. So more questions. There are so many questions for you. I have my questions, and in between my questions, I've been asking. So I saw Sharon. Hold on, Lord. Okay. All right. So Sharon's question is gonna be linked to Dawn's questions. I won't ask that question yet. How do you, Nakeeta's asking, how you get into the zone to write, and how do you balance writing with work and personal life? You did mention that you're a mom. Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow, so I am a mom of 4. Luckily, my two sons, who are my first 2 children, are 24 and 22. So it's a little less onerous because they're adults really. And then I have 2 girls, 12 and 6. So that's a big gap. So how do I get into the zone? I would say I don't have the privilege of getting into a zone. If I want to get something written, I just have to write. So, I will get ideas at any time of the day or night. Sometimes I just have to get up and scribble and write down what's in my head. But I would say when I'm working on something, the time that I like to work is very, very early in the morning, like about 3 o'clock. I will get up, set the alarm and get up, and I'll work from that time, maybe until it's time to get ready for work. But sometimes I just don't have the privilege of waiting for that special feeling to get, to get into my writing. And especially when I was doing revisions to the book and so on, and, publishers waiting and whatever, I definitely didn't have that. So yeah, I can't say I really get into the zone. What I will say is when I am writing like a first draft, I tend to write from the back to the front of my writer's notebook. That's just a quirk I've always had. So I start at the back of the book and come forward as opposed to, front to back.
That's
and
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that seems to work. I can't even remember how I started doing it. But it just somehow, I don't know, it seems to just do something in terms of how I write. So that's what I was saying.
It obviously worked. And maybe it's a technique. I mean, if we really think about it, it could make sense having the outcome and then working your way back from the outcome. So
No,
maybe
I'm starting at the beginning. When I start writing at the back of the book, I'm starting the beginning of the book.
Oh, you mean you're right? So you mean you start writing here?
Writing on the last.
Oh, you literally start writing from the back of the book. All right, that's
that's what it is.
We all have our interesting
story. It's not the end of the story that I start with. It's the beginning of the story, but I started from the back of my writer's notebook.
All right. So that's interesting. I want to wrap up the book questions now to ask you two more normal questions that I wanted to ask you from the hot seat. Like, I want to know why your imaginary friend was Russian, but we're gonna get to that. That really stuck out for me. Did she speak to you in Russian? Did you speak back to her in Russian? What? But before you answer that, Cherie, I just peeped on Instagram just now to see if any questions were over there, and I happened to notice I was tagged in a post by one of the fairy gangs. So I have to just take a moment before Cherie comes off to let you know how my fairy gang, they take this Friday Night Lyme very seriously. I see Christine there laughing because she knows that I'm talking about her. And I saw her tag me in a post, and she said, the beauty about sewing is even going to at Shanz Little Adventures Friday Night Bookish Lyme on Zoom is an event that requires a new dress and new accessories. So I don't know if Tina can just stand up for a quick second so we can see the fancy new dress, because she sew up new blue dress, people. Look at that. Oh my God. Listen. Let me tell you about my gang. Okay? It's not just book alone that in your reading, okay? Okay? They're doing things. Wow. Tina, you sewed that today? Your mic is off, but don't worry, because I'm gonna bring you on after, just because we just want to talk about your dress before we wrap up, Cherie, and go into bookish radio. Cherie, let me ask a question that everybody wants to know now. Right. Well, Renee had asked, what was the most rewarding thing about writing this book?
What was the most rewarding thing about writing this book? The most rewarding writing this book, strangely enough, was knowing that I had finished it and I felt I had done exactly what I was supposed to do with the story. It's so weird because right before I kind of worked on finishing this book, I think I probably had a little sort of like a writing crisis, or I don't know what you would call it, but I was at that point where, over 40, just feeling like, okay, I've been doing this writing thing for so long. I had all these plans, nothing is working out, nothing is coming through with the writing the way I thought. And I had this one disappointment to do with the writing, and I just thought, forget this. And I had to kind of talk myself out of that. I keep saying, I really understand what it's like to have like a dream or a vision for something and be kind of working on it in the background and things don't seem to be happening, and your spirit starts to flag a bit. But long story short, I kind of had to just get to the point of, writing the story for writing the story's sake, because I feel it was given to me and I was really supposed to serve it the best I could by doing the best I could with it in terms of my craft. And I remember there was one point at which I finished the manuscript and I just looked at it and thought, that's it. There's nothing else to do with it. Like, it's done. Of course, my publishers proved me wrong on that. Let me just say, by the time I handed it in and they were like, oh, I got this 3-page editorial letter, but that's another story. But I really did feel a sense of I did the work I was supposed to do. And that was actually more important than anything else. Although it was great to have, the publishing deal and, people liked the book. A lot of people liked it and stuff. It was more about the satisfaction of knowing I had done the story the way I felt I should have done it. Yeah. That was the most rewarding.
That's really nice. Okay, one more question came in, because the question that Sharon and Dawn asked, it has to be the last question. I can't ask it. So Sam says, what was the main point you wanted the reader to take away from this book?
Mm-hmm. I do get asked that question quite a bit, and it's interesting because for me, I never start a book with the intention to make a point, because I don't think my belief system is that the story doesn't come from me. It's almost like it's given to me. So I know this might sound a little maybe strange for people who don't write or not artistic, or maybe don't believe somebody. I believe that the story is almost entrusted to me to work on, that type of thing. So yeah, that's really kind of what happens. I didn't set out to write a book about domestic violence. I didn't say, I wanted to show Barbados at a certain point in time. It was just about writing this story and crafting this story that I received, or that I was given, or that I saw in my head, the best I can. So in terms of what I want people to take away from it, I just hope that one of the things when I actually finish this story, I do hope that, it forces people to think and to be more within their own communities, their families, the wider community, as it relates to women who might be victims or survivors of domestic violence. I would love for an awareness of some of the concerns that are relevant to women in that situation to grow. I would like people's consciousness about domestic violence to grow, but I didn't set out to write this story with that point in mind.
That was
right.
That was, yeah. When people say something and you're just like,
yeah, that's what I would like people to take from it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was very beautifully said, Cherie. And I'm sure that people are definitely taking from the book exactly what you have set out for them to take from the book. And I know that this is not the end of how far this book will travel. And I know that persons who are on this Lyme right now have not yet read the book, have already put it in their Amazon cart to purchase the book. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Cherie. And so now I can finally ask the question everybody wants to ask. And I'm so sorry that I have to be the one to ask it, because I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. But we want to know when is the next book.
Oh Lord, you and my agent too. Look, I was
Didn't even ask it nicely. That's not how the people ask. Okay, the people ask
right.
in a very nice way. As a matter of fact, Dawn asked it kind of more like me, but Sharon was like, let me find the way Sharon asked it. Where's
Oh my
Sharon's question? She said it's so nice and social too. I can't find it. But like she said something like, we'd like to know when Cherie will be bringing to us another piece of work that we can enjoy.
God.
But I just take it now and I just say, oh gosh, I didn't even see Tina's question. How do you overcome writer's block? So tell us how you overcome writer's block and then just make we know if it is a case where you need to overcome a writer's block right now, because we want to know when is the next book and is it gonna involve, are you thinking of involving the same
Oh
characters
God.
from How the One Armed, or are you gonna bring to us another short story collection? Let us know, what are you thinking and how you overcome the writer's block and what are you thinking for the future?
So in terms of how I overcome writer's block, a friend of mine on a course that I did a couple years back gave me a suggestion about doing flash fiction, because I would just get, I had something to do for class and I was stuck. I felt uninspired. Nothing was coming. And he said, like, why don't you try flash fiction, short story, 300 words or less, very short story, fully formed in that space. And I started writing flash fiction and just, I don't know, I just developed this real love for it. My flash fiction stories are a lot more, I would say, surreal, maybe magical, than my longer short stories or my novels. So they're very different, but I do that. I don't know if it's the sense of not being restrained by anything. Like it started as just little exercises to get me to write. So that's one thing. The other thing I do is anything else that's creative. So I will take photographs. One point I went to a writer's colony for a whole month. And it was really cold and I felt really lonely. And by the end of week one, I was stuck. Nothing was coming. Had the benefit of being away from home and all the responsibilities of home and still can write. So I found an art store in the town that was close there and just got some paper and started doing some origami, like just, went online and figured out how to do it, watched some YouTube videos, and I did like, I don't know how many paper flowers I did. I mean, like the desk was festooned with every type of origami flower you can think of, right? But it helped because a lot of writing is thinking, and I process a lot in my mind and then put it on paper. So that really helped for me. So it's kind of like doing anything creative. If I'm stressed, I'll go somewhere in bush. I think anybody who's on my Instagram will know that, sometimes when things get too much for me, I grab the camera and I go to the bush and I just want to disappear, take some pictures, and then come back to life. So yeah, I probably would say just doing anything else creative. In terms of the next book, I am working on 2 projects right now, but I've been working on them for quite a long time. And part of the reason is, there's just been so much to do with this book, in terms of making revisions and, other things to do and stuff. But I've been working on a collection of flash fiction about different parts of the body. And I'm really enjoying that. And then a novel about an 8-year-old girl called Nib, who lives on a cocoa plantation in Trinidad in the middle of the 19th century. So I actually toured a cocoa plantation in Trinidad in September 2019, and just saw this little like structure, this little wall structure, little white building with a red roof, and this story and this character just appeared out of that. So those are the two things I'm working on. So no sequel as yet. So whoever's asking that, because I know that's the next thing that comes. Is there a sequel? Not just yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me know who the publisher is for the flash fiction and the 8-year-old 19th century cocoa plantation work that is coming, so that I can know how to get my arc, so that I can, because I like to get the things exclusive so I can let the fairy gang know what's up. But wow, I think Jillian, I think Cherie's advice in terms of how she gets over her writing stump or writing block, I think just doing anything creative, I think that could definitely possibly help you with the reading slump that you're in as well. Because I mean, it's the brain getting to do what you want to do, So I agree with that 100%. And yeah, I think that we have. Oh wait, no, we have not come to the end. I just want to ask you about your Russian imaginary friend now. So we want to have an idea of why she, or was it she or he?
It was she.
We want to know why she was Russian, and we want to know, did you have Duolingo in those times? Did you go to school and you were doing Russian? Did you converse with her in Russian? And did, or was she an English speaking Russian and just spoke to you in a Russian accent? Did you actually hear her in a Russian accent? We have a lot of questions. We want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, actually, it's so funny because, I don't remember a whole lot about her, but for me, it wasn't a case of me actually seeing this person. And this is something that's happened with my own children as well. I think all of my children at some point had this sort of little friend, that they would talk to, and so on. But I don't remember. No, she wasn't speaking in Russian. I think the way that we spoke was more like a thought thing. So it's just weird.
So she didn't have a voice per se.
She had a voice that I would hear in my head that wasn't mine. Shanz, I think you're taking me through some real tough territory here. Like, this is not exactly stuff
Can we go ahead and call her Anastasia?
Oh my gosh, listen, next thing you know, people start talking about, being an author with imaginary Russian friend, like, you're taking me through.
I need to hurry up and write a blog. I sat down with Cherie Jones and we spoke about Anastasia, her Russian American friend, imaginary friend, and we really got to talking about her existence and her origin.
No, don't make.
Cherie, why is black your favorite color?
I don't know. I've had different favorite colors at different points in my life. First, it was blue. And as I grew older, I thought there was a special significance for me for blue. Then it was white. And then it's just black. I think there's something so deep and pure about black. I don't know. I have a lot of black clothes, but there's just a simplicity and a depth to black. I just love it. So yeah, I
agree, Damon. Everyone looks good in black too. And my final, absolutely final question, because we've gone over the author time.
Right.
But my final question, Cherie, is how did you come up with this beautiful cover? Like, how did we get here?
Wow, I wish I could I wish I could take credit for that, but I can't. That is actually the book designer at the publisher, at my publisher, the US publisher. And what happened was they asked me to create a mood board based on my novel, just things that, you know, images that would represent what I understood the novel to be about, how I felt about it, things about Barbados, whatever, things I like, patterns, colors, whatever. And I did that. I just kind of went on Pinterest. I looked at different images, little patterns, just things that I found interesting and provided that to them. And lo and behold, this was the first thing that came back, like the first image. And I was like, yes, that is it. You know, I love the fact that, you know, it's a woman of color, it's a Black woman on the cover. I love the turban. I love the blue because that makes me think, you know, that's kind of stereotypically what you think about, I think, maybe with the Caribbean. But then there's this little thing like blood spatter.
Right, on it, right.
This little like undercurrent of something sinister, but yet still little thing. So I loved it.
I definitely got that. And I also loved the fact that the woman on the cover doesn't have a face. She doesn't have facial features. It's like there's so much mystery involved in everything, along with the splatters. I really loved the cover. And after reading the book, there's an appreciation for the cover that is like I really, it's something that I can't believe I left that question for last, because it's one of the first things I said I need to remember to ask Cherie about the cover and how the concept came together. So I can just imagine that when they brought that cover to you, you must have been like perfection.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. I just thought, oh, this is beautiful. And actually, strangely enough, the US cover I saw before the UK cover. The US cover was done first.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the UK cover, at first I wasn't too sure. That one is similar, but you can see this sort of image of the woman's face, and then the text is a lot bolder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, it grew on me, but then when I finally thought, you know, over time, I was like, actually, yeah, I love this one too. I just love the cover. This is
yeah. As Damien said, that's good. I've heard horror stories about publishers putting covers on books that authors hate.
No, I have to say, I've had a really good experience with my publishers. And my editors and my agent is wonderful. I've had it's almost like midwives. I keep saying that. It's like the book is a baby, and they worked as midwives. They were really supportive and just, you know, taking me through the whole process. So yeah, it was lovely. I can't complain.
Cherie, man, we, you know, coming to an end is always the saddest part. We've had such an awesome time kicking it up with you, talking about Prince Andrew's draws and your Nakeeta is like, how can we edit this? How can we she's now thinking, how can we edit this part? How do we get this out? How do we take that part out? How can we block that part out of this? She's gonna have a meeting with me after, like, we can't be saying that in the live. We can't do that. No, we can't do that. Okay. So we've been talking about Prince Andrew's boxer short, and also the Russian imaginary friend, her love for short stories, and the color black. All right. So thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing. Love this book. Looking forward to more work from you. And this has been so much fun. Thank you for sitting in the hot seat and planting your butt right and nice in there, getting through that. chatting with us.
Yeah.
And let's all have a cheers. Cheers to Cherie Jones and how the one-armed sister leaves her house. Thank you for coming, Boo. Feel free to stay on while we have Bookish Radio. If you have to skedaddle, that's fine as well. So toodles noodles if
I
you
have
do
to go to bed.
put the girls to bed. Please give them
They stay up. They just run wild
yes,
while
right?
while
Give them our hugs and kisses. We're sending a lot of fairy dust. Hopefully that will put them right to sleep. Damon is like ching, ching, ching. Bye, Cherie. Guys, we had so much fun. That was so much vibes, so nice. So you know, we keep it in good time. And as I tell you guys all the time, I'm not staying here whole night with you guys, you know, and I'm really, 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 really not doing it. Before you come on, Nakeeta, Christine, so hold on there. I just get a chance to really look on the dress, you know. Wanna look on Christine dress? Wanna go on Christine page and look on her dress? Come, Christine, stand up. Christine have on a little baby doll dress, you know. And a hot girl sitting Christine say for the live, you know. Listen, if you don't have people giving you that kind of energy on the live, we say we don't want it. We don't want it. Christine, you really made that dress today? Yeah. So you just got some material and you sewed that dress today from start to finish?
The thing is, it was easy. Like sleeves and just 2 pieces. It was easy. But I only got to 2 places, the living room.
I say you're keeping COVID free over there.
And then, so, like, everywhere for me these days is an event.
I
I'm
agree.
sorry, so
I
either was
agree.
my pajamas or I was gonna make something. And I was
So
like,
you
well,
said,
yeah.
they said, I'm going to make something. Can you stand up so that we can see the dress? Is there a way to go further back? Yes, guys. So as you can see here, Christine is wearing a blue shift dress with long sleeves. It is mid-length, stopping at her knee. Christine, can you turn for us so that we can have an idea of, okay, you can see it. As you can see, it's a shift dress. It's straight down. It stops right at the knee. Arms are going, sleeves going all the way down to the wrist. She has coupled that with a pair of red tassel earrings. She's wearing her hair out, you know, because, you know, you can either wear your hair down with this outfit or you can have the hair pulled back. You can either wear knobs with this outfit or you can couple it as Christine has done with red tassel earrings. Christine, what do you have on your feet? Are you just wearing the 10-toe turbo or are you wearing... It's just the 10 toes.
Yes.
All right, all right. So you can either wear this in your house if you're attending a Zoom event, or you can pair this with a pair of Bridget sandals or any sandal of your choice. You can be matchy and wear red sandals with that blue if you want, or you can go white. White is also a complementary color, as well as yellow. Thank you so much. That's it for the fashion page on Friday Night Bookish Lyme. Christine, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see what you are wearing next episode. I thank you. Nakeeta, you can roll through. Guys, welcome. Happy New Year. I'm so happy to have you guys. So happy to be here with you all.
No, but there's something I have to play for Christine before we start.
Walking trophy?
No, man. Oh, you want you? Oh, wait. I was gonna go for a classic. You ready?
Go for the classic. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
so
Christine approves.
big up to Christine. Big up to Timmy, to Kimberly, who is my very, very good friend. She would be very pleased to
It's
see
appropriate. Fittingly appropriate.
us.
And appropriately fitting.
Angie, what you just heard? Oh, Damien, we don't have to. Damien, this is a Jamaican song, so it's seen as how you are basically
Damien, good
Jamaican
man.
now. Yeah. We didn't need to explain it to you, Angie. And I don't know who else is on here who is
You should do
not.
the English translation of that.
Yes, so that song is basically saying, a hot girl is a hot girl, sweet like honey, X to the 5, as in BMW X5.
Yeah.
We don't drive in sunny, Nissan, sunny.
Sunny is like a little, like a breakdown car.
A little cheaper car, a more affordable car.
Yeah.
Vicky has a secret. Victoria has a secret. G, and it's so funny.
Man come and offer, we no beg them no money.
We no beg them no money. But we won't get into that line. So we just
enough. After Prince and Maggie, we don't need to go no further.
Gosh, look at the cute girl in the background there reading her book like a studious girl.
I wonder who that cute girl is.
Wow. We should all try to be like her, the girl.
Anybody care to offer any guesses as to who that cute girl might be?
Wow, she cute bad.
Dead.
I wonder what she's reading. Why is she out there reading with a mask on? It's one out there. I'm not gonna lie. Nakeeta, I don't like to see when people driving in their car with masks. Because I'm just like, what is you alone in there?
Random thoughts of the day. Maybe they put it on that way they don't forget when they come out of the car. Yeah. That's what's up. Makes sense.
Sam is a doctor. Sam is a doctor. Sam, what's going on? Why are they wearing the mask in the car? What Nakeeta said makes a whole lot of sense.
I have no idea.
Sam is like, I have
no idea. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Or maybe somebody was in the car earlier, so them just don't want to inhale up the spores.
Can drive a lifestyle in the car and spray out the car too.
All right,
why not the windows, spray out the car?
Yeah, why not the window? But listen, I take every opportunity to take off my mask. Yo, if I'm in a store, as I reach in the car, I'm like, but sometimes I see the people going their merry way, mask up in the car, and I'm just like,
you know what? If the excess helps them do what needs to be done, we're not mad at it. It's fine.
Very, very true. Very, very true.
And herein was your commercial break prior to our newscast. You have your glue bottle / mic ready. You can't be drinking on the job, roving reporter.
Yes, that is true.
Welcome back to our first edition of Friday Night Bookish TV.
Wait.
We need to get Stone Love in here to make up some noise and all these nice things. Stone Love would so natural for Christine's dress. I feel. All right, and we're joining the field. Well, she's going to come in the studio today because it's a new year. We're not sitting her on the road too early. Yeah, no, it's outside cold. I have on strapless. Outside cold, my girl. Yeah. You need a jacket. Something. Oh my God, like, did you just like do like a full adjust?
Okay. All
right, there we go. All right, so we are joined in the field, the studio. We're bringing her inside the studio today.
I don't need this.
No, you have your mic. We didn't get a chance to put on your lavalier mic, so and you don't need. There's no delay today because, yeah.
This is my headpiece thing.
A full headpiece mic. Wow. All right. Boy, the studio really running low on funds. Hopefully we'll get some more advertisers in 2022. Would that be great? Welcome, Shan, to Bookish TV. I think we can't be TV today. And we're a morning program, but it happens at night because, international dateline and all these things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Shan, why are you holding on your mic to your head like that?
This is a headset.
The headset don't just the headset is gonna get tired.
All right, I'll take off the headset.
All right, so I know you have some topics coming up today. We've got lots of topics. I'm not gonna. I actually don't have anything here on mic, so yeah, we'll work with it. But yeah, first up, New Year's resolutions. All right, before we jump into the bookish ones, do you have any other general New Year's resolutions you'd like to share with the fairy guys?
Honestly, Nakeeta, where New Year's resolutions are concerned for me, I definitely want to get back on the diet. I've really been eating everything. And so with that said, I would like to come back to a place where I am working out again and eating my chicken breast.
No leg, no thigh, no wing?
No. I have 6 months to my wedding.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's really where I'm trying to be.
And you're trying to be as snatched as possible.
I'm trying to be so snatched that I'm almost kidnapped because I'm snatched, get it? Like somebody snatched me. Like
if y'all are feeling that joke, you can drop some laughing emojis in the chat, but I'm not know about that one still. Yeah.
Okay.
I have stopped making New Year's resolutions. There's no point. You're gonna make a goal, you make a goal. It no matter whether it's January 1 or December 31, just make the goal. Don't map out the goal. So if you know you want to do X, you need to think through all the smaller things that will feed into X and what smaller things you will have to do to accomplish that.
Me have to come out
and you map it out, you will be a little more inclined to see where your efforts need to go.
Me have to come out a character to talk to Nakeeta. Nakeeta say, "We'll come again with that joke there." Say, Nakeeta. Renee, what's going on with
penny section? She's the penny section of the audience. She's like
Nakeeta is the one on a back will. Hey, she will throw the tomato on the back of them.
Like when you're watching a comedy, I know they don't do laugh tracks in comedy anymore, but like there was always one person with one really raucous laugh in the crowd. And you'd hear them and like them don't laugh after everybody else. That's a Nakeeta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out one person there.
Thank you, Renee. Renee took the tomatoes and the butter from her. Thank God. Everybody must have a best friend who is complimentary. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Everybody must have that best friend who, is on the other end. Let us say hey to a few people who just came on. Tao is finally on. Hey girl, and Sharpie is on. Sharpie, I'm surprised that it came on here. We're not talking about non-fiction today.
Oh, don't do it. Leave Sharpie alone with our non-fiction.
Hey, everybody.
That's her jam. Leave her alone. That's her thing.
Let me tell you something. Sharpie was one of my first friends on Bookstagram and one of the first Bookstagrammers that I ever met. And I love her to bed. She is a Sweetheart,
And I'm gonna defend Sharpie.
And
Sharpie and I
Sharpie
will be
will long
reading a
overdue.
romance very soon. So leave Sharpie
Yes.
alone.
No man, let me tell you, man. Sharpie reads some good books, but let me tell you about Sharpie. Let me tell you about my friend. You see my friend Sharpie? When you're going through everybody's feed or you're going through people's stories, right? And you see this book, you see Midnight Library, and you see Malibu Rising, you see Evelyn Hugo, and you see Rock Paper Scissors, and you see red, white, and royal blue, and then you see Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know whose account it is. Father Jesus.
For agreements.
Sharpie.
For agreements. For agreements.
Listen, if you're going through the book and you see
she had Eckhart Tolle up
and you see the power of no,
yes,
it is Sharpie. It is Sharpie. It is her profile, people. So I just want to
committed to a better Sharpie every day. And that's why she's reading those books. I want
so
to
if
figure out that.
If you're interested in nonfiction and especially coming around to November when Bookstagram goes into nonfiction November, Sharpie is your go-to girl. Follow her. She knows all the books to read that are nonfiction. That's your girl right there. All right, back to regular programming. Back to regular programming.
Sharpie's our first. Sharpie's our second ad of the day. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, we have to have sponsors, you know.
Oh, yeah. You know what this is like now, this setup? Is like when you're watching CNN, I used to the first screen there. Yeah. Hey. So I'm like Don Lemon right now, but a very washed out version of Don.
And what am I?
I don't know. Who do you want to be?
I want to be Anderson Cooper.
Okay.
He's sexy. He real sexy.
Anderson. Yes, Anderson.
That gray hair.
Okay.
That gray hair.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but that gray hair is giving what
it's giving.
It gave what it was given.
Okay. I cannot argue with you.
Yeah, it's Anderson Cooper for me.
So you're the silver fox today.
I am.
You know what? I'm gonna go left field. I'm gonna be Wolf Blitzer.
Let me just Sam, thank you for coming, sweetheart. Because see, it is 10:07 and at 10:30 we are out of here.
Yeah, all right, Shan. Okay. Yeah.
What's Sharpie's Bookstagram? Sharpie, type your Bookstagram in there. Oh, everybody type your Bookstagram handles in here.
Yeah, Fairy Gang, support Fairy Gang. Big up on yourself.
Remember,
I have to shout out all the people who are posting this week.
Yes.
We have not. Normally our live chat has between 18 to 20 people, and the numbers have been about the same today. And we're gonna get even more. So just as a reminder, we're gonna edit this video because that's why we're recording, and Shan is gonna have that up on her IGTV. So yeah. Can watch it all the time. Can watch it as your bedtime, when you put on your moisturizer and your eye lemon, all them something there, and
absolutely
to make sure so age and them thing there. I'm at the age now where I gotta like get night cream for my eyes. Like wow.
Yes, you need to.
Rough.
And those of you who want to put a little nadinola.
No, girl. Nadinola bleaching cream. We don't defend that. No. No. Nadinola is bleaching cream. We do not defend that. Okay? Nakeeta, thank you, sweetie. In your own little way, I try to tell you, so we look young. Thanks. Big up yourself. We feel nice.
Thank you, Nakeeta.
She's not trolling you.
I know I look young though, girl, but thanks, boo.
All right, let's get back our producer. Our off-camera producer is, nudging us. So, Shan, tell us. I see here we have reading goals. I'm gonna lump that with our New Year's resolutions. Do you have any bookish resolutions this year? Are you gonna be reading more nonfiction? Will Sharpie be hearing more from you? Tell us.
Well, to be very honest, Sharpie will be hearing from me but it won't be for nonfiction books. I will not be reading any nonfiction books because life is already, I'm living in a pandemic, and that's as nonfiction as it's gonna get. In terms of my New Year's bookish resolutions, Angie has successfully managed to convince me to step over to Storygraph. That use the mic today when just I go talk. So Angie has made me go over to Storygraph, and Renee was giving me some tips as well. Renee is definitely saying yes to Storygraph. She likes it.
Way better than Goodreads.
Yeah. And so I'll see if I'll be able to keep that up. But I did put in Storygraph 60 books for the year, but I honestly don't go by reading goals. And let me tell you why I don't. And I have no problem with persons who opt to go with their reading goals, because we all use the space and process the space differently. And you have people who are planners. I'm a planner too, but in a different way. So you have people who will structure their thing, and they will plan out before the month. This is what I'm going to read for January, and this is what I'm going to read for February. I, however, I'm a mood reader, so I read unless it's something that I'm required to read for, like a book club or something. I will read what I feel like reading. 2, I think sometimes book goals tend to limit us or pressure us in a way. So like last year, I was really concerned to see a lot of people who were saying, oh, I'm like 4 books short of my book reading. Oh God, I have to cram this book. Oh,
the stress was real.
And I was so concerned because I was like,
yeah, like I mean,
if you don't get to read the 100 books, like Diana, for example, Diana did the 100 books, and she said she's never doing that again. Because of course, when you set a goal,
she shared a very interesting perspective, because for those, that's Diana Thorburn on IG, because I think you saw everybody, like you said, having a mad dash. People are even making recommendations. Oh, if you want to meet your goal, here are 4 easy books to read. And I'm like, y'all, it's not that serious though. Listen, if you are still alive and kicking and getting out of bed in the middle of a pandemic, I hope, if it's the middle of it, who knows? With Omarion and everything else going on, big up yourself. You're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Those thing. I mean, funny enough, and I actually wrote about this, when I ignored the goal completely, I just say, you know what, we just gonna have some vibes. And I did the All Romance December. But ended up bust the goal, and I was like, oh, Zine, that was not my intention. I literally was just here to read Steam and Smut and just not think about anything, and it was great. So I think I saw people like freaking out about the goal, and I was like, wow. So I didn't set one this year.
I was so concerned. Like I saw people who were literally like stressed.
Yes,
they were like, and as you said, like I saw quite a few people with reels who were like, you can read this book, you can read this book, you can read this book. Okay, so you're gonna take up that book, read that book that you never had no interest in reading.
I'm not gonna retain nothing.
Just
take what the joy from the team.
You're listening to audiobooks at 2.5 speed. Like, what?
I tried doing that. If
you're listening to the audiobook and you're reading along, you might be able, like for example, I've listened to audiobooks at 2 because I read very quickly. So then if I'm not hearing the word, the narration at the at the speed that I'm reading, that is a little bit annoying. But when I'm listening to audiobooks by themselves, I listen to it at 1 or at most 1.5 if I'm not reading the book with it. Like,
Like,
I don't want to hear the people saying, and then she went into the room and asked the guy, and the guy said,
girl, why would you time lapse your audiobook? Don't do that. I mean, if for me, the narrator, because you do have some narrators that they read at their cadence is very slow.
yes.
And so if you go like 1.5, 1.8, then it kind of sounds like more of a normal cadence. But when you're going at 2.5, I'm like, listen, the only thing I listen at 2.5 speed is when I get a WhatsApp voice note from somebody who think they're recording a podcast to send to me, and it's
like,
long.
Jesus, I have to get through this.
I may say, all right, 2.5. I could hear them say quick. Because I made my ears are not made for that.
I agree.
We're not trying to help people get through their books. That's their thing. But my ear, I'm like, how you do that? Big up you.
You're very skilled. I do have one resolution.
Let's hear it.
And that is, remember I was telling you about my credit card and my credit card having a mind of its own and like doing things on its own, like purchasing.
Yeah, like you're asleep, it walk out of your purse.
And going on Amazon on its own and those kind of stuff. Like, I really
doing its own book hauls. How's that?
Yeah, like me getting.
You guys had an intervention.
Me getting a call from the shipping company to tell me that there are books, and I'm just like,
where did these books come from?
Where did these books come from? And I realized my credit card was ordering the books for me, and I was really bothered by that, So I had a serious
And you sure it wasn't a scammer?
No, it's ironic. Those books were like books on my wish list.
Wow, that scammer is very deliberate. I mean,
that's why I really think it was my credit card did it on its own, and I know that it's a credit card because I saw it reflected on the bill, in the statement. I saw it on the statement.
Statement like Amazon wasn't working properly. Mr. Bezos got all up in your.
Yeah, and because I'm in Jamaica, it's hard to send them back. So I just took the book because I didn't want to go through the stress of like having to send them back and stuff. So, anyways, I had a long conversation with my credit card. It turns out that my credit card right now has COVID. My credit card has COVID, and so my credit card is in isolation, and so I managed to have a conversation with the credit card, and so the credit card and I have come to an agreement where we are no longer. I told her that she's not allowed to buy any more books.
Why credit card is a she? I'm a challenge with the credit card and this narrative of women overspending. Come now, have a talk.
Her name is Jasmine.
Dead.
So I told Jasmine, I said, you can't buy any more books.
Jasmine, the credit card, had a mind of her own and was spending a lot. And you had an intervention, and so far, we're at what week 2? We're at the end of week 2 of January. Yeah. How's Jasmine doing? Tell us.
Yes, Christine.
Yes. Christine, Shanz is going to tell us what she said to Jasmine and how Jasmine has been responding.
Christine, you just need to make sure that your card gets COVID and put it in isolation.
But you get over COVID.
Well, make it get COVID again. You can't get it again.
I mean, or you could just lock the card up. What doesn't help is if you know the card details in your head. Then you have a problem.
Jasmine is, I put her away. Damien said Jasmine's name is Estella. I like that.
Oh, wait, there's another card named Stella.
Estella,
okay. Why
is your card Spanish, Damien?
Jesus God. Sheila, if you're hearing this Spanish, please say something in the chat. Please. Yeah. I can't. All right, so Shan, we're gonna start. Oh Jesus, she's Italian and she's smoking.
She's Italian.
Wow.
Estella. Okay. Estella. Okay.
Dead.
Got it.
I'm done. So, Shan, we're gonna check in with you and Estella and Jasmine over the coming weeks. Cause why you look so nervous? Talk to me. What is happening?
No, I just had a little itch.
When I itch, okay. It's not that you hear like Jasmine I talk to you in the background or anything like that. Just want to make sure. Okay.
I can't hear Jasmine. She's in isolation, Nakeeta.
Right. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh God, no, y'all.
She cannot be around anybody.
No man. So how you have met like the eyelash I peel off because me there ball. You can't bother.
Your eyelashes look quite intact.
Thanks. I put it on because you say we will fix up on, so you know?
Yes. Watch Christine. Christine said.
And I'm happy I did. From like, oh, Christine right out there.
Christine
company. Feel nice. I like that. I love that for everybody here. Yes.
I love that for everybody here. I love that.
Love that for everybody.
I thought Annalisa was gonna have her camera on. I don't know why. I just feel like.
So Annalisa is a hot girl, you know.
Yes, I think she was.
Annalisa is a bona fide hot girl, you know.
Mm-hmm. How is it? Yes, how is another hot girl?
Actually, I'm in my work clothes. I didn't want to take it off. I did not talk about any face today, but I was like, I'm practice a little look. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
How's everyone doing?
Everyone is doing great. We are so happy, guys. Like, this is our first Friday Night Lyme for the year. Yeah.
I love this. I love this, and the reason why is like, you're following a few persons on Instagram, and you would be like, they only post books, they don't post their faces or whatever, and you just want to put a face with their name and all of that. So like for Renee, you've been calling Renee names all the time on Instagram, so it was just nice to see her face.
Oh yeah. That's really good because I was very nervous and I had many Yes, Angie, we want you to have your camera on because you're so beautiful. For those of you who have never seen Angie, which would be strange because Angie is a staple on Bookstagram.
Yeah, Angie posts her face.
Angie always look intact.
Yeah, no, Angie is snatched 100%.
But as Annalisa was saying, I had several conversations with Nakeeta this week as my my social media consultant, my executive.
Annalisa, is that your son?
He was like, "Oh,
he's
sorry.
Like, what's going on?" We're talking to this list.
So I had several conversations with Nakeeta, I had conversations with Damian, I had conversations with Shayla, I had conversations with my fiance, like just talking about coming over from IG Live to Zoom and feeling a little bit nervous about that because I was like, suppose nobody comes over to Zoom, is it going to lose the vibe and the energy that we would have had on IG Live when we come over to Zoom? And honestly, as our first Zoom, I have to say that it has been fantastic. And I do love the fact that everybody's camera can be on, because when I was doing it on, the hashtag Fairy Gang is always like, oh guys, if you take screenshots, Renee, can you type the hashtags so everybody can? We decided on hashtags just so that we can, because what we're trying to do also is to build the Fairy Gang as a community where we can all, grow each other's Instagram, like just lean on each other for bookish chats. And, if anybody is branching out, like for example, Trisha launched her website, we want to give her that support. We just want to be here as a genuine community of friends and or family that are, uplifting everybody. So be sure to put hashtag Fairy Gang, hashtag Bookish Lyme if you post anything that's related to this, if you do any screenshots or whatever. But you guys are right. Like Zoom has enhanced it. When I'm doing the live and I'm talking to you guys, I cannot see you guys, and I'm reading the comments, and sometimes I feel like I'm literally talking to myself.
And sometimes you don't catch all of the comments either.
Exactly.
So,
but here, I can see facial expressions, I can see reactions, I can see when Nakeeta is like,
when you're talking about Prince Andrew draws, let that go. What? Why?
I can see Damien who is like,
that
is scary dust. So I love it. And then we can have people like Annalisa come on and say what they're saying, and we can all be on here. I'm very excited. Yes, Sharpie says, so happy to be here. #Fairy Gang. I'm so happy to have all of you guys, and thank you every single one of you. This started out, as I said last year, this started out as just me getting up one Friday. My hair was done. I did just buy the headband wig, and I said, ooh, looking kind of nice. I'm like, come on live now and see what the people are dealing with. And you guys came on, and it was very unplanned, very unstructured. We were just literally just picking it. It was literally a bookish Lyme, and you guys came on. And then you guys religiously have come on. When I was doing it every Friday, you guys are on every Friday till I said, guys are going to do it bi-weekly so we don't lose the quality. And you guys are faithful. And I am so grateful for that. I'm so thankful for you guys believing in your book fairy, and by extension, believing in the fairy gang, which means believing in each other. Love that. We love that.
Yep. And I'm happy it has assuaged your fears, because I know you were kind of freaking out. But the people are here. They're still on. And
everybody's still on, chilling.
And they're going to go back and watch the video when it's up. So
yes.
So yeah. So don't stress yourself. You have your people.
What you say, Annalisa?
I have a
hold up. I think I accidentally took off Annalisa's spotlight.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yes, a suggestion. Depending on like books you're planning to read for whenever we're doing our body read or whatever, like say it in advance, because the thing is in Montserrat, like things take forever to get here. So I mean, if I do decide to get that particular book, I want to be able to order it in advance to get it in time.
Right, I get you. It's something I've thought about.
Yeah, like a couple of months, maybe you can do it for the first quarter, or decide which books we read in for the first quarter and put
definitely. It's definitely something that I've thought about in terms of allowing people enough time. So for February 25, we're going to be reading What Storm, What Thunder.
Yeah.
And I will just let you guys know as the fairy gang that we're gonna have a surprise guest coming in on that day. I won't say anything more.
Yeah, hint, wink. That was so obvious. Yeah,
guys, we're gonna be doing What Storm, What Thunder, and somebody's gonna be there. Very briefly, but I won't say who that person is gonna be. So now we just need to decide the body read for March, April, May. So Renee and Nakeeta, let's put it down so that when we come on the 20th.
Actually, what we could do is whoever's on, we could just, if you have something you wanna do for the body read, drop it in the chat.
And then I'll do the poll.
Yeah, Renee will take a note of it, and Sean will run the poll. That way you can get your books up already, or you can save it on Scribd.
Yes.
You see what I did there? I did that just for you.
Yes.
Still calling it Scribd. They're gonna have to write me a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, no, we're gonna,
All right, we have one more. We didn't finish our Goodreads. I still want to hear about your Goodreads. You know, there's a buddy read feature in Goodreads, in Storygraph rather.
In Storygraph,
so,
yeah.
I mean, that would be a nice opportunity to use that. People can jump in and join. Shan, what is your Storygraph? What is your Storygraph?
My Storygraph is Shanz the Book Fairy.
Okay.
Can somebody give, like, somebody that's really good at Storygraph, can they do a tutorial or something?
I was literally about to say that Angie is your girl for Storygraph. She knows Storygraph inside and out. See, she say yes, DM her. So everybody at Angie Overbooked.
Okay.
And Angie is so approachable.
Nakeeta want to read something about feral mermaids. Hey, Nakeeta have some book suggestion there.
Yeah, she's a fantasy.
She said we'd want demon. I'm not telling her that demon they look kind of hot still. Him look on the man thing, him they look kind of cute.
Renee, I hope you're taking off.
And I feel you judging me, and you know what? I'm
never judging you. Never judging you. Never judging you.
I'm unbothered.
Of course, she
sent was
it.
hot.
Of course, she sent it to you. It's romance. Of course, she sent it to you.
Yeah, he was good looking. I forget the name of the story, but like even the title, I'm like, yo, this sounds wild.
Damian is like,
Damian, I have something to send you in your DMs later. You're gonna die. Okay? Yes, I see you nodding. Right, you're gonna die when you get it.
As you said that in his DMs. Damian, are you able to bring up the picture of the King and Queen of Book of the Month?
Yes, we need to share that with the
wanted to share that
with the peeps.
I have no idea how to do anything on here.
Can you send it to Nakeeta?
Or send it to me and I'll put it up.
Send it to Nakeeta and she will
I'll send it to Nakeeta. I'll send it to Nakeeta.
Yes. That time I got drunk and saved a demon is the name of the book.
What?
No, Nakeeta, let me tell you something. That worse than my warm milk. You're going to go and sit down with that.
Why? Listen, I was like, girl, what is going on here?
As a matter of fact, that is another one of my body read suggestions. That time I got drunk and saved a demon.
And if that one they're gonna get no whole heap of votes. But
I recommend, let me tell you.
You know, like how Nakeeta say you'll be the one fan for warm milk?
She alone.
She will be the one vote for that book. Maybe I'll give it a vote too, because the cover like I tell you, the demon look hot.
I'm nominating Paper Palace.
Oh, I have that. So I'm here for it.
I'm nominating the Paper Palace. I've heard such good things about it. And so I'm definitely going to put that in the poll. I'm nominating Paper Palace. Nakeeta, we'll get back to you on that. Renee will write down all of them and
drop your suggestions. We're not gonna trouble nobody.
Angie says she really wants to read Paper Palace.
But on the matter of, books we have versus new books, I see people making an active effort on their page to say, hey, I'm going to be reading my shelf. I'm not going to be buying books.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yes,
I'm really.
Yeah, you've gotten Jasmine under control.
She's in isolation.
So we'll see how that goes. Are you actively reading what's on your shelf? I mean, I know you get your book of the month, so that not really counts. But
yes, a book of the month is a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So
that
doesn't count, right?
Yeah.
And but as I said, I had ordered this book let me see if I can. Anyway, I had ordered.
Was that This Poison Heart?
Yeah. Let me take it off for a second. So I had ordered This Poison Heart from last year. From Ash Draw Me Out to Read It. So, Yeah, and if you're buying for somebody else, it doesn't count. And I am buying for Nakeeta and Renee's Galentine's book exchange. So
books you have to buy for your book clubs don't count either.
Don't count either because that's for your book club.
There's
and
so many
you guys are
caveats to
making all the
this.
excuses. So,
yeah, but seriously speaking though, so if you have to buy a book for Friday Night Bookish Lyme body read, that's okay. You're allowed to do so. Like you're allowed to do that. What you aren't allowed to do is just buy books because the Bookstagram made you do it. Damian?
And that's so hard because people are always like, I have a TBR set of posts that I just saved. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll get these. I went through that the other day. I'm like, wow, this is just getting out of hand.
I'm really not buying any more books. I'm not. If you have books that you do not want anymore and you want to give them away, check me first.
Yeah, Shan is actively seeking the Gunkel.
I am actively seeking that book. Please, if you have it and you do not want it, please.
I don't see anybody giving that up.
Yo, I've entered so many giveaways for that book.
I don't see any. You know what? When you need to let it go, and them say if you love somebody, you must let it go. So let it go and stop thinking about it, and it will come.
And the book is so expensive. It's $23.
Yeah, oh my God. Mr. War, Mr. Rowley. Is that Stephen, the man already?
Yeah,
he's in his bag.
Literally in his bag. Or as Shayla loves to say, he's bank.
Yes, definitely.
He banks.
He's making sure that he earns paper.
I've been watching that book and I'm dead ass serious. It is a hardcover. Of course it's a hardcover. Come on, like that's what I do.
But for 20, I'm not telling a lie, like the paperback kind of rough.
Paperback, especially for me.
Accidentally on the floor. Sleep on my paperback one day and now I can't straighten it out. And I'm
one second, guys. You know it's not a bookish time and if I don't have a somebody from a household come in this place. Hold on. That was my fiance.
Oh, all right. No, it's fun when like your mother bursts in. Cause Matthew knows what you're doing, so it's fine. But I said to her today, the people are waiting to see Lady Gigi bust into the room, and you're not gonna. It's $16 on thrift books. So that's still too expensive for me, cause I'm not buying any books. Cause you know she and Jasmine and Estella are on hiatus. I really think maybe I have a scammer. You should call your bank.
Yes, I think I'm gonna
call your bank. You really should.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my bank because I don't know who is making those policies. But guys, I'm getting married in 6 months and I can't. No, so here's the problem with a US library card too. I'm a bibliophile. Nakeeta calls me a book hoarder.
When did I say that?
Oh, it's not you, it's Shayla calling me. Anyway, so Shayla calls me a book hoarder. So I like to have, because Rebel Woman Lit has a very good library selection for persons who are based in Jamaica. It's the closest thing we'll get to a proper Libby. And they have very good options, and you can borrow the book from them for free. They don't even ask you to pay anything. They do have the ability for you to support by paying giving them a donation to upkeep the library. But I don't like the fact that I have to give back the book.
Yeah, but you can't teach people in book though.
I know, that's why I don't like that arrangement.
Yeah, that's Renee saying, owning books and
that's why I don't like.
Plus, I mean, honestly, when you live in a country where the library is not the greatest, I mean, the funding for it isn't that much. They really do rely very heavily on donations and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get into the habit of buying your books and you just want them.
Yeah.
And you have to be grateful when you're able to do that, because that is a privilege. Because worse with how Mr. Us Dollar is just sliding away. Yeah.
And then clearing books is another story.
Is another
So when you buy the book and you ship it to your US shipping address, when you have to clear it in Jamaica, it only makes sense for me when I don't buy the book. And so I pay that fee to clear it, and I'm like, oh, I basically got the book for a heavily discounted, but it's hard when you spend $23 from Amazon on a hardcover, and then it comes to Jamaica and you have to spend like another $10 to clear it.
That's if the book is like a pound.
My book of the month package, they called me to tell me it's £4.
Yeah, man. Listen, my no shipwise lick them out because I get 2 BOTM boxes.
Right.
And when I was like, Lord Father. But the only reason I do that is because it works out. Because if you get in the 6 books for what you pay and what you clear them for, it work. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do have the picture ready. But we need we're not quiet. We want...
I'm sorry.
No, I have to go on my date night now.
But you can't go on date night before the people see the king and queen reveal.
Reveal it.
Guys, come if y'all want to see the king and queen reveal.
Drop some fairies.
Make sure you're ready. No,
we don't want to hear nothing about.
This is a beautiful portrait. It's a kind that Shan, you want me to guess it up now? You and Damon, yeah. You know. Think about, guys, when you're walking through the hallowed halls of a palace and you see the portraits, which commissioned artists take a long time to work on and perfect and ensure that they capture the true likeness and essence and spirit of their subjects. This photo, this official king and queen of Book of the Month portrait is all of those things. And I hope you're sitting tight in your seats. I trust that your drinks are filled because you got a toast for this amazingness that I'm about to reveal. Can we get a little fanfare? A little purr, 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 purr. All right. And we're going to pull it up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love how Christine is like pulling into the screen. She really wants to make sure she's capturing all the details. If you love this picture, people, can we get some fire emojis? Because this official portrait is unmatched. It's inimitable. You can't find anything better than this. I mean, it should go in like every national museum. Right, Shan? And you saw it here first. Look at that. Just at Shan with her. Are those purple gloves? Wow. Wow. And
they were from my cousin Marie Antoinette.
Yes, and Damien is such a decorated member of, what is that, Damien? Like the Royal Navy and the Army and stuff?
Yes.
And it's not no honor, it's a Damien earn up all of them badge there because he's courageous. He's the knight on the white horse. Yes. Yes. Love it. Love it. So big up your bookish fairy. She's a full queen. Dad, what did you get in your first BFF box?
I have not gotten it as yet.
Okay, so we anxiously.
Oh no, I got it last month. Yes, I got that. I can't disclose the things I got as the queen of Book of the Month. I cannot do that.
No, but the subjects are waiting. We pay taxes.
No, that is classified. That's classified information.
No, but the subjects them pay them taxes and stuff, so them need to know. No, do not tell them.
Just know that the queen was well taken care of, and the king and I, we are happy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I love it. They'll be making movies about you guys for years to come. They'll be writing books. The kids will learn about you all in history class. Yes. It's a wonderful time. What a time to be alive. You know?
Yes. Yes.
And in a panini. I mean, Damien, do you have anything you'd like to say?
They've already cast Timothy Chalamet to play me.
Wow. My God.
I wonder who they're casting for me.
Damien clearly has an inside scoop.
I've not heard yet, but I heard Beyonce is on the short list.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, they said that they needed her to be prettier.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard that they were trying to cast Chloe, but I'm not sure.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Is she the Little Mermaid?
Which Chloe? You mean Chloe from Halle and Chloe?
Yes,
Or
yes.
Khloe Kardashian?
No, Chloe from Halle and Chloe. I heard they were trying to cast her for me. I'm
not
not
Zendaya, Shan, you know.
Listen, they cast Zendaya for everybody black.
True.
Like,
True.
They probably would cast Zendaya for me.
They probably would. And worse because she worked with Chalamet on Dune.
Yes, yes,
they
exactly.
Probably would. But like Damon, you still pleased with your casting choice?
I mean, it was hard for them to find somebody as good looking as I, but
exactly,
it is what it is.
Exactly.
No, you're fairly satisfied. You'll work with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine.
Okay. And
yeah,
Shan,
I mean, yeah.
You'll keep us updated on who's casted to play you.
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
The movie title, you know, is there any little tidbits from the set that you guys can give us yet? No.
That is for another time. We're unable to share all this information right now. You know, we don't want to.
You know, we don't want to ruin it. We already got a lot tonight, so you know, you don't want to
exactly. We already got the official royal pictures that should not. They have not even.
This hasn't even been released to the public, guys. This
hasn't even been put up on the wall in our grand dining room yet. So
we've already said too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Marvel. You may be getting a call from the lawyer.
Yeah. So we don't want to get in any further trouble at this time.
And that's fine. That's fine.
The king and I are now exhausted, and we are definitely going to be retiring at this time. Thank you.
You know, on behalf of all of the staff, production crew, on-camera crew, everybody at Bookish TV, congratulations. It's so nice to see one of our own branching out and becoming a full-fledged celebrity. You know, you'll be getting your own star near the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all of that. That's fun. And Oscar season is coming up, you know. So I'm sure there'll be buzz for what movies to look out for next year.
We just want to remain humble, you know. We don't want to go above. We just want to be grounded. The same people that you came to know as your fairy gang people, you know, although we're going to be exposed to all this publicity and all this excitement and extravagance, we just want to maintain humility.
You know, you're always going to be available to talk to the little people, I'm sure.
Yes, and with that said, I'm getting the look. So, guys, it's 10:48. We've gone over the time, but it's always a good time. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Bye, Angie. Bye, Tao. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We chatted it up with Cherie. It was so good. Nakeeta and I got to discuss our bookish stuff. And our next Bookish Lyme will be on January 20. Is it 28th? Yeah, January 28th, and we will be body reading, discussing 7 days in June. So if you haven't already read it, make sure you get onto that. And we'll also be doing the poll. Renee took off all the suggestions, and we'll be doing the poll to see what books we will be reading for the next, so for March April, and May. So with that said, cheers everybody. Toodles noodles. And I will see you not next Friday, but the Friday after. Love you guys. Mwah, toodle noodles. Bye-bye.